Alright, Dragon Ball Daima discussion. Who wants to get the ball rolling first?
So we got to see Ku fight the Tanagami.
That the skinny one or the fat one?
Skinny one.
No, Ku is the skinny one. Yeah. Yep. Du is the fat one, right?
Yes, do. Yeah.
Yep. Du.
Wait, was that even in episode 10 now that I think about it?
Yes.
Yeah, he fought. Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. So he fights the Tanagami. At first, I thought like what was gonna happen was he just doesn't know how to fight. But then I was like, well, he's kind of sporadic, but I see some kind of discipline, some kind of control. So maybe he does know how to fight. Or at least there's some instinctual stuff going on there. He's pretty smart, able to survive. He knew like when he was going to lose at the very end. He's like, nah, I can't do this, yada yada. I'm surprised we got on to do that fast, but you know what, seeing the contrast between these two, I think it was a good idea to do that early on. But outside of that, seeing the Giants Kraken show up and them losing their ship, I'm surprised they went with instant karma with them losing their ship instead of because like you remember they didn't pick up Vegeta and them when they got their ship. So I was a little surprised to see the instant karma. I thought maybe they'd be play out for a couple of days. Maybe we'd see them. I don't know. I was expecting something else there, but let's stay on 10 for right now. The Kraken apparently is too strong for them to deal with right now. I am a little bit surprised by that. I figured if anything, it'd be like the dinosaur Gohan fought back in Z, and it was just like, you know, it's super big, but they're talking like these things are powerful. And you know, again, we're talking about if Pansy or Glorio said these things are super powerful, we need to worry about these, I could be like, all right. But y'all are saying the same thing about the Tanagami, and Goku beats one of those. So why is Goku worried about this? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, that was. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's all good. I'm gonna look something up real quick.
Yeah, I was pretty shocked at that too. I thought the Tamagamis were the strongest in the Daima world, but then here comes this random Kraken that's too strong for them to handle. So I'm kind of wondering what's up with that. That's kind of weird to me. When it comes to Majin Buu, the little skinny one.
Oh, Gu? You mean Gu?
Gu.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, Sofska? With the Majin, I'm a little disappointed with that. I thought they were gonna be a lot stronger. I didn't think they were gonna be a joke. But once I saw the Fat Buu come out, and it looks like he's putting up a better fight. I don't think we saw the ending to that fight against the Tamagami, but it looks like the Tamagami's actually kind of sweating a little bit versus like Majin. Fuck, dude, what's his name?
Majin
Du. The skinny one. The skinny one.
No, Ku.
Oh, that's
Ku. Yeah, like versus Ku, like he looked like he was not sweating at all. He was just kind of like, this it? This guy's nothing. So like now he's actually sweating, but it's kind of like what the fat one reminds me of is the Fat Buu, and the skinny one reminds me of Kid Buu. So it's kind of like weird to me, like if the fat one is stronger, it kind of reminds me like maybe that whole thing they said about him going back to Kid Buu, him being stronger, is actually false, you know. So that's just my thoughts with it. What do you guys think about the two fights again with the Majin Buus and the Majin Ku, Majin Du against the Tamagami so far?
Do you want to go first, Brock, or?
Oh, sure, may as well. With Ku going at it, the skinnier, more Cybermen would like one. I don't know. I feel like he was kind of a like one of Toriyama's older, more like funny throwaway characters, to where like This is feeling very Dragon Ball to me, more so than Dragon Ball Z, and I kind of like that. We have the adventuring in a whole new, brand new area. We don't seem to have the limitless energy and like just ease that Dragon Ball Z seemed to have at some points. So it's just it's fun for me, going back and just remembering like, oh hey, the Dragon Ball. So with the hardships that Dragon Ball had, there was also that kind of humor with like what you thought was gonna happen didn't actually end up happening. It was kind of comical. Like even afterwards, like, you know, you had that the Supreme Kai's sister all frustrated with him, and he was almost kid-like, right, or teenager-like. Oh hey, haha, don't be mad. I can still go to the convenience store. I'm super quick. Like, and then to have that actually come back in this next episode to go to the convenience store to get the chocolate for Do. And then seeing, you know, like, oh, I always wanted a brother. It's funny because like you're like, oh, this is just gonna be a stupid Kid Buu ripoff. I see the argument from all the kind of like Daima doubters, right? I'm gonna call them Daima doubters. They're like, oh, he's just gonna be a ripoff. This is the same of the same of the same. And no, it's not actually, which is kind of refreshing to see, right? And then with Do coming in, you're like, oh, well, he kind of looks like Fat Buu, but the fighting style is a little different. Again, there's some sense of intelligence here, so it's not exactly like a Kid Buu ripoff. Kid Buu was more childlike, where Do, the new fat one, seems to kind of have some like, I don't know. It's still kind of a weird fighting style. Like when his head, he was gonna get like basically beheaded by the Tamagami, right? And then he like his head got sucked into his body, so that was kind of interesting. Both having a very kind of just outlandish fighting style, which is fun. So I don't know. I'm really liking the dynamic between the first one. I figured I'm going in giving everything a fair shake, right? Like, I'm not going to go in like, oh, this is terrible, because if you go in and especially, like I said, it being Dragon Ball-ish more so than Z, I know a lot of people that like Super and like Z want just the fight. No, I'm just kind of taking my time and enjoying it, and not trying to come in with any bias, and I'm pretty happy with it so far.
So I'm still, when it comes to like the Majin Do, the fat one, he's fighting the Tamagami and he's got him sweating a little bit. Well, I do want to say that there is more power in Do. His fighting style is still more, if you remember, I said with Ku, he's a lot more controlled. He has some control. You can see that there's something there. And I think that the Tamagami is used to that. But what he's not used to is something that wild. Now, maybe he's stronger, but it kind of reminds me back to, I don't know if you guys remember, when Goku and Vegeta were fighting hand-to-hand against Jiren. Like, their fighting was so off that it was causing Jiren to have to back up, because he just couldn't figure out their pattern. And in that way, when I look at Fat Do, I think to myself, like, is this the same scenario? Because it certainly feels like it. I mean, when we first seen these guys come up, he was over here doing monkey noises and doing weird things you might have seen a kid doing from a Kung Fu movie. So, like, so I was just like, you know, what's going on here? Is it power, or is it just undisciplinedness? That's kind of where I am on that. Squall?
So, do we think Majin Do is gonna win against the Tamagami?
Sure.
I don't know. I feel like they're designed in a way where, like, they have to learn how to beat said things like that. And yeah, it's a power thing, but it's not like he's outright just destroying him. Like, if he was outright destroying the Sanagami, it'd be whatever, but he's not just doing that. And so that makes me think, like, I don't know if I want to say that he will. But then we gotta remember, Tanagami number 3, what did he do? Goku beat him in a fight, but he still had a puzzle afterwards. And so it's probably not going to be the doctor chick, the witch chick. It's probably going to have to be Do. And as far as we know, Ku has the telepathy link. That does not mean Do does. and Dew's also stupid.
That's true. The creation method this time around was to make it designed a lot stronger. Is the power level based off of how many centimeters in? Because they put it in like what? It's only 5 centimeters, right, for Ku, and then for Du it was 20. And then did they use more of the essence of Boo this time around also? Like all these things that were happening that made the witch a little bit more concerned this time around than the first with the creation of Ku. So like, I'm wondering, just based off the creation method alone, is that going to give Du that much more power than Ku, when Ku already seemed to kind of I wouldn't say he went toe-to-toe with Tamagami 1 necessarily, and we don't even know if any of the Tamagamis necessarily have different powers from each other. Obviously each one looks different, but I mean there's been no indication on whether they're all equal as far as combat level goes, or if the one in the third world was a little bit less stronger than the one in the second, and then let the one in the first world being the strongest. We don't have all the answers quite yet as far as that goes, but just based off of assuming that they would all be equal, Goku defeating the third one pretty handedly, and then Du being created much stronger than Ku, if there's like if Du has it, I would imagine he'll eventually pull the win.
What I'm seeing with well, I'll give you a second. What I'm seeing with Do when it comes to his creation process, it seems like they were putting more. It seems like they were giving less Cybermen and more Majin Buu. And so more Majin Buu means all of Buu's quirks. Well, the fatness. He kind of reminds me of the pilot, not Glorio, but the other pilot. I got a very strong sense of the other pilot in him. I'm seeing some naivety, some stupidity, some dumbness. I'm seeing some like childishness in some way, and I'm seeing a lot more primitive like thinking. So I think what we're seeing with this is maybe it's not necessary power, but maybe it's the idea of I'll look at that later. Maybe it is the idea of the controllability.
So, in terms of if that makes him stronger than Tamagami, like how does that relate? Are you saying that makes him stronger, so he should win against the Tamagami, or?
I think the wildness we see out of Du allows him to be stronger, and I think that like because the closer up I think it is the closer more control she has. But also Ku was a lot smarter. Ku was more than likely not going to go all in like Du would, just because he's like self-preservation. So I could totally see that being one of the bigger reasons why Ku did not finish that fight. But I could totally see Du even do it, because did Ku actually do the thing where he sinks his head into his body? Did he do that, or did he just straight up dodge?
So
I don't think he has. Yeah, I don't think he has the flexibility or the boo-ness in order to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
The body types are entirely different.
Yeah. So closer down, I think it's more like regular Majin Buu, and the higher up, it's more like a Cyberman. But I'm also seeing this idea of self-preservation goes down the further it goes down, because odds are high. If he can do that thing with his shrinking his head, he could probably also explode, which means he can kind of just be doing whatever. And so, is he stronger? It could be tied to that self-preservation thing, like I said, or the body type thing.
It did just seem like the witch was a little bit more concerned with this creation process versus the other one. So that's why I think, just based off of her reaction alone, that Du definitely would be stronger. The second one would definitely be stronger than the first.
Yeah, based off of the way the Tamagami is reacting, I'm assuming this the fat one is stronger for sure. Like just by his reactions, it looks like he's like, oh shit, he's getting caught off guard. Versus like the first one, he was never caught off guard. He was just easily dodging everything. So
for sure.
Whether or not that means the fat one's gonna win, I can't say for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he won. I think Seven Ninja brought up the fact that like he's struggling against the Tamagami versus Goku didn't. Well, I mean, we see Vegeta struggling with his Tamagami fight and Goku didn't. So I'm under the impression that the Tamagamis have different power levels, so they're the different worlds are stronger. Like the highest world is the weakest one, so Goku got the weakest one. Vegeta and the Majins, they got the stronger ones to fight against. So that's why
Vegeta also got double teamed.
Yes.
I would have liked to see that if had the Kraken not interfered.
Yeah, me too. Because I don't even think we saw Vegeta go Super Saiyan before that happened. So there's that. There's like the fact that like Goku defeated his pretty easily. Vegeta struggled. You know, like within the first few moments, Vegeta got sliced barely right under the eye, and he was like, and he looked like he was like sweating after that. Like, what the? This thing is strong, you know.
Right.
So there's that fact. So given this, it still doesn't tell me how much like stronger or weaker Majin Buu is to Goku or the other Tamagamis. I mean, we still have to see more.
And neither fight is over yet. Neither fight is over yet either. With Vegeta not going Super Saiyan, I'm sure Goku's gonna like swoop in and like do instant teleportation, or Vegeta's gonna get saved somehow, either of it his own being or if Goku or a third party steps in. But the Kraken's gonna not become a problem. I'm sure the fight with the second Tamagami is gonna go forward, hopefully with Vegeta still. And then I mean, yeah, even with the first Tamagami and Do, right, like that's not over either. So hopefully I'd like to see both. I can't imagine them going back a second time and failing, because I mean it would just seem like no progression if that were the case.
Yeah.
And with Vegeta, you can't just off Vegeta. Like even it feels like Daima's kind of with the same Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo show, right? So I'm hoping that or I'm assuming, I guess, that Vegeta's gonna come out of this just fine, and the fight with the Tamagami will continue with no more Kraken. We'll see. We can only assume.
Yeah, let's get into this. We're getting into a little spoiler section. So spoiler, if you haven't seen the latest episode, spoiler warning. Leave now. If you haven't seen the last episode of Dragon Ball Daima, go ahead, Seven Ninja.
I read a comment when I was watching this episode 11 of Dragon Ball Daima. I read a comment that was saying that like Vegeta hasn't had a lot of time to really exercise inside of the demon realm. I remember Goku he's always training at any given time in order to understand the different airs of the demon realm. I know that the plane was able to fly faster, but we still don't know how much faster they are inside of the second world than they were inside of the third world. It still may not be like regular speed, and so in that way, Vegeta hasn't. He's trained a little bit. We saw him lifting weights, but we have not seen him turn into Super Saiyan. We do not see Vegeta fighting too much. We do know he has fought before. But we cannot go as far as to say that he's fought remotely as much as Goku does. And so in that way, Vegeta, it's believable that he might lose the fight. I don't think he dies to the Kraken. But it's believable. Wait a minute. There's a revive bug. He might die.
I thought that was a Medibug. Like it works like a Sensu being, not a revive. But I mean, it's possible. I don't remember the revive one.
I know you said it's a stamina bug, but it could be one of those situations where he's like near death or something. Maybe he's like got like a lot of water in him or something because he went underwater. Maybe something.
They're bringing
like
back that Zenkai boost.
So
it'd be a good way to bring it back.
So we're going into spoiler territory. So now let's talk about the Kraken swallowing up Vegeta. So what are our thoughts on that? Like is he dead? Why or why not? I'll go.
Well, it's still in the process of happening.
Yes.
I mean, listen. They said Goku said we're not strong enough to handle that, and he has Super Saiyan, possibly Super Saiyan 2. were not strong enough to handle that. So as far as I'm aware, I mean, it could be something like how Naruto from Naruto gets out of that snake. He cuts I think the stomach out of the snake to get he cuts the back or the stomach of the snake to get out. Cool. So will probably tell me if he's still watching. But Naruto gets out of the belly of a big snake, and so it could be something similar where Vegeta's like, let me blast a hole in the side of the Kraken in order to get out. It could be kind of similar to how Majin Buu destroys the hyperbolic time chamber. So all these are possibilities. The problem is that Goku literally says we're not strong enough to handle that. So by that logic, the only way he's getting out of that, unless the Tamagami itself does something about it. But then again, the Tamagami is the reason he's even in there in the first place. The only way he's getting out of that is if I think Goku's gonna have to go instant transmission, grab Vegeta, and head right back up to the top. I think that's the only way that's happening.
So there were some things I wanted to add. Like you said, Vegeta or Goku's been training since they turned into kids. I think Vegeta did train off screen. One, Vegeta is smarter than Goku. He's smart enough to realize, hey, I don't have as much reach as I'm used to. I don't have as much power as I'm used to. He can detect what he'll need to do to adapt quicker. Goku just kind of learns by trial and error, versus Vegeta is more quick to see it mentally. And I'm thinking in Super, we stated that Vegeta trains too much while Goku doesn't take his training serious enough. I don't agree with the second part about Goku not taking his training seriously, but I do think Vegeta trains too much. So I'm arguing that he trained off screen while they were hanging out on Kami's lookout to get used to his body. And because Goku couldn't even land a punch on a standing pillar when they was first kids, and then versus Vegeta, when we see his first fight, he's landing all these punches like nothing. So he obviously adapted to whatever his body is at this point. So there's that. When it comes to I definitely don't think he died from the Kraken. This gives strong hints of plot armor is about to be introduced in some way, shape, or form. Especially since it ended the way it did. It just seems like it's more supposed to shock you. How he gets out, you know what? Since Logan confirmed Vegeta gets a new form, this might be his intro into his new form.
Baby Vegeta.
Baby Vegeta?
I'm just talking. I was thinking of the new form, and then he just comes baby form Vegeta.
Oh well, nah. Whatever new form Vegeta gets, this might be his intro into it. Because this is all I'm thinking. Oh, this is how Vegeta gets his new form once he got swallowed up. He gets some sort of demon infusion, with the Kraken or something. Gets exposed to some sort of Daima energy, and this is how he gets his form. Maybe that's my thoughts on it. Brockstrap, I think you're muted. I think you're trying to say something.
Oh no, I'm good. I kind of agree with that though, because yeah, definitely if we were to get any power, and this is kind of what I was going back to a few discussions ago. If there's any power up that they get, will have to be Daima specific. It'll have to be Demon World specific, because the fact that they wouldn't use any power in Super, assuming it's all canonical and all in the same continuity, right? Anything that they have to learn in this series alone will have to be only within the Daima realm. So yeah, we could get, like what you're saying, if we do get Vegeta, if Vegeta is the first, like Hunter was saying, to get a new power up, that new power up would have to be, well, potentially here, but it would have to be, yeah, Daima specific.
You're talking about him getting it, and I'm not saying the stakes aren't high to some degree, but a new form usually happens when something serious is about to happen. This thing with the Tanagami, I don't know if I'd go this far because this feels like a friendly spar that they're trying to win a competition over. Versus, whenever we see a new form, it's usually because they have pushed themselves to a degree in a fight where they have no other choice.
So you're thinking maybe like King Yoma or like or Goma, whoever took over.
I could maybe. I don't think Goma. Goma is too scared.
Maybe even
I kind of see Q and Ku maybe fighting together or fusing in some shape or form. I could see that. I mean, like, because they're literally like Ku being the brains. Maybe they fuse together and be like a Kudu or whatever. That to me seems like more likely to happen because Vegeta don't want to be like, all right, I got to be powerful because Goma is too afraid of them getting the Dragon Balls. He's too afraid of them coming that way. But literally, when he sees them fight, he's like, "Oh my God, they're still strong." So like, Goma does not come off to me to be someone that's actually important. I think I said it a few conversations, a few podcasts back, where I said, you know, I want to see more of the Goma because he's supposed to be the main villain. Yet we are seeing way more of everyone else except him and what's his name. So I don't think he's as serious right now, and I think like it plays into that idea of Dragon Ball being a comedy-esque anime, and that's what Daima's probably going down. I kind of see Goma being that comedy villain that really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
Somewhat like Pilaf.
Mm-hmm. And I think Squall, you had something to say.
Yeah, so I think I'm not 100% sure if this is where Vegeta gets his new form, but I think it's a possibility. Because I think you said it's they only get a new transformation when something serious is about to happen. I think it's more of something serious has happened. You know, like Krillin dies, Goku goes Super Saiyan. This gives me strong hints of like, or this gives me like, really brings me back to a Tournament of Power when Jiren pushed the Spirit Bomb back into Goku and we thought he died from it. And then boom, he comes out with he comes out with Oma and Ultra Instinct. So this is the same situation almost, you know, like instead of the Spirit Bomb pushed back into Goku, it's the Kraken eats Vegeta. So this is like a serious thing that happened that he needs some sort of power boost to get out of. So that's why I think it's possibly he can get a new transformation here.
I'm down for that.
What if the Kraken takes him underwater, and now Vegeta's going through a underwater-esque adventure instead of like, and maybe we end up finding someone similar to like maybe Pansy or Bulma and Glorio helping him. So before we had Goku going through his story with all of them, now we have Vegeta going through a side story. And so maybe this is the transition from Z to Super, but we see Vegeta become more chill, more relaxed, and less himself. Like, we're already seeing early stages of that, but like Vegeta of Super is a lot different than Vegeta of Z. And so maybe him going through a more humbling experience, working with the underwater people, could be what's going on here. Obviously, I don't think that entirely is what's going to happen because this is Vegeta's time to shine. But at the same time, it wouldn't be that hard to believe them to say, let's give Goku an extra episode and then let's focus on Vegeta for a while.
Go ahead, Brock.
Well, we also kind of had that humbling at the during the Kid Buu fight as well. Like at the end of it, Vegeta's like, "Oh, see now, Kakarot is the strongest," and then like the whole monologue that he had. But then the sparring at the end of it too. So like it almost seemed like the humbling and the calming was already there.
Mm-hmm.
And we're leading into, because I mean obviously Vegeta even in Super still has his like little ticks and is quick to fly off the handle sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when you're saying now that we're seeing kind of like somewhat of Super Vegeta. Well, yeah, I mean we saw the start of Super Vegeta and toward the end in the Supreme Kai's world.
So if we see a side story with Vegeta, it's just, to me, it's like, how many episodes would it be? Because we only got like 20 to 25 episodes for the whole season, and that was episode 11. So there's 14 episodes max, and we already got like a lot going on with the story. Like we got like a bunch of side stories already with like Goma, the Majin Buu and Kuz. Like we saw like Piccolo, Vegeta, and Bulma split up and have like another side story, but they only got like a measly amount of screen time. So I mean, like it's possible like he could go on a side story, but it would be like very minimal if this were to happen.
It's also kind of interesting.
Go ahead, Brock.
Oh, I was saying it was interesting even on those side stories too to see Piccolo so knowledgeable on everything, and Namek as well, like with his father being kind of up there and saying, "Oh yeah, my father might have remembered this Namek inside of the demon world." I don't know. It was just kind of cool little aside.
I feel like Kami in some shape or form is because he was so quick to pick up on Neva and all of them. I feel like Kami's side of things is starting to Nail and Nail and Kami's side of things is starting to pick up into him, because he's like, it seems like the more Piccolo's there, the more information he seems to recall. I mean, this could have been stuff he already knew, but it seems like as if his world is telling him something as the more he's there, and the more he's learning, the more he's understanding, because he knew Neva was playing a senile he knew Neva was being senile on purpose, right? And it's like, I mean, anyone can read an act, but this is the first time you meet a guy. Why would you think this guy is trying to act this way? And so in this scenario, I think we're seeing like by him being Piccolo, him being Kami and Nail, or the nameless Namekian, if he's still going by that. I think something's going on with those mixtures.
Dude, I wanted to bring that up too. Like, alright, so Piccolo all of a sudden remembers he came from the Daima world, which we came up with the argument maybe Nail knew, which to me is still kind of shaky, but it's more plausible than this situation. Like, how does he know his father? No, because Kami didn't remember anything when he arrived on Earth. So how does he remember his dad now all of a sudden? Like, I don't think you guys can make the argument Nail knew who Kami and Piccolo's dad was. You know, because Piccolo didn't remember Namek, Piccolo didn't remember, or Kami didn't remember Namek, Kami didn't remember his parents, Kami doesn't remember Daima. So, like, Nail possibly knows with Daima. I'm not gonna say, there's no way in hell you guys would convince me Nail knew who Kami's parents were. Because, like, he didn't even know who Piccolo was.
Well, that frustrates me too, because even then he said, I don't remember Namek. What language word Kami... So in the final Dragon Ball tournament, in Dragon Ball, when Piccolo and Namek, or Piccolo and Kami threw the guy that Kami was, like, taking control of, what language were they speaking then?
They were definitely speaking Namekian.
Right.
Like,
so why did Piccolo not know now, especially with Kami in him? Like, they both spoke Namekian, so like, why would the new Namek being of Piccolo, Nail, and Kami all together not know Namekian? I don't know.
There is something Piccolo did say, I've been on Earth too long, and I think that plays a role. But
right.
The idea of he remembers katas and all of that. I think the quote or what it was said was that Kami had amnesia. Like, when he got there, he forgot everything. But like, a person who has amnesia can recover. And so if I'm in an area that I remember seeing before, and I'm like, why does this place feel familiar? I touch down, all these memories flood back into my brain. This is what Kami knew, and they're connected, they're mixed, they're fused. It's possible that by simply being on an area that feels very familiar, he can recall a lot of stuff. And he just couldn't do it because he's been on Earth so long. But it's possible that some of the stuff he learned on Dragon Ball Z, just being on New Namek had given him, or Namek itself had given him some memory there too as well. But I can kind of see this idea of Kami being at his home planet starts to recall things.
Well, like one thing, I don't know about like you said like when Piccolo was on Namek, I don't think he said that like oh, this feels familiar. I think he said, oh, so this is my home world. Like he was like more like in awe or something. Not really. It feels familiar. And then when he was on Namek, he wasn't fused with Kami yet. He was still just his side of the half. So maybe like you can make the argument for like when they arrived on Daima, fused together. But it's still very washy to me. I'm not seeing how he knows who his father is all of a sudden.
Right. No, and that's what I'm saying. It's frustrating to me that like they have him remember something, but not everything. Like, right, exactly what you're saying.
I think it's just a little plot hole here that they kind of forgot about. That's just my gripe with it.
It didn't even happen in like a long time span. It happened in a very short time span. Like I don't really remember much of Namek culture, and then all of a sudden my father's Kata's, and I know about you. Like what? What do you
like
mean?
He knows the Daima all of a sudden, which was never brought up. He knows who his father is. I can see them I can see him knowing who Neva is. You know, Nail. I can see him having information on Neva. I can see Nail having information on the Daima, but definitely not who Piccolo's dad is. That's out of nowhere.
I mean, I guess if you threw me in Japan for like 14 plus years and I learned Japanese and nobody spoke English, I could come back and it would be kind of hard for me to pick it back up again. But I would pick it back up, right? Like that's a secondary language. I don't think that's something you would just forget.
So my thing is with that is we all learn to speak at a very early age before we can even remember learning how to speak. We're learning at a subconscious level. Like I think like Kami, Piccolo, they learn Namekian at a subconscious level. So it's ingrained in their brains, you know. They're gonna remember that for life. Yeah, that's it.
I mean, Piccolo was speaking English right out the egg, if I remember.
But then, like when they were in the tournament, they were speaking perfect Namekian, like that, you know.
Yeah, he would have been what, 4 at that time?
3 or 4.
Even earlier, because he's not much older than Gohan.
Yeah, so I think like right after the first that tournament, Gohan was born. He's like 4, and then like I think like when Piccolo was born was right after the tournament prior, and they happened like every 3 years. Because like right after that previous tournament with Tien, Goku fights and defeats Demon King Piccolo. Like I don't think there was much time between the tournament and defeating Demon King Piccolo, and then that's when Ma Junior was born. And then 3 years later is the next tournament where Ma Junior meets Goku. So he's like 3 at this point, and he's like a full-grown adult.
Right out the egg, he's speaking both languages.
There's an idea here that I think we're forgetting, and that is, in both scenarios, he was meeting very important Namekians. In one case, it was Kami, and that they have a raw connection because they are literally part of each other. But then you have Neba, who's like the super legendary Namekian, and then his hometown is even in the demon world, where like he's starting to feel familiarity with things in the demon world. It wouldn't be too hard to believe that this idea of sacred lands or sacred people are causing Piccolo to pick up memories. Again, he forgot everything, but just like I said, if you had amnesia, it's possible you could come back to your memory because you're in a certain location.
I could, I kind of see that. It's just one of those poorly explained Dragon Ball things. Like it's possible, definitely possible. It's just I would need that to be like hinted or stated somewhere.
I feel like we should talk about like so we're seeing Vegeta fight Tanagami 2, or we're seeing Do fight Katanagami 1. And I feel like one of them's gonna lose and one of them's gonna win. Who do you think that's gonna be?
Between Vegeta and the Tamagami and the Majin and the Tamagami.
I think they're showing us the way they're doing it. I think they're showing us that for a reason, and I think one of them's gonna win and one of them's gonna lose.
So, all right, if we're going off of this, one of them has to win thing. I'm thinking the Majin dude is gonna win. Goku is gonna expend all his energy saving Vegeta, and they're gonna be too exhausted to fight, so they're gonna have to withdraw.
I need Vegeta to win. Vegeta needs Vegeta to win. If one or the other has to win, it's probably going to be Dude, just because this is their team's second time at it. So if one had to win and one had to lose, it's probably Dude, just so they don't keep coming back and wasting time on that specific plot. Again, it'll be super easy, I think, for Goku, especially with all these different energy signatures down here now. Easy instant transmission. Go get Vegeta. Easy instant transmission back to Piccolo or somebody.
I'm gonna say Vegeta loses two things. One, because fuck Secret Cold Sauce. Your favorite character is a little loser who can't win anything in the whole Dragon Ball series. And two, this might be his thing to like get him back on like this could be his motivation to get stronger and get his new form, that Logan hinted at. Alright, go ahead, take it away, 7 Ninja. I know you had something.
I mean, Neva mentioned something about you have to one-on-one fight the Tanagami. And that makes me think like we might see something with. So in this scenario, I'm thinking about Do and Ku might end up fighting the Tanagami. The problem is it matters on if there's some kind of special spell that prevents the Tanagami from losing to like 2 people at once. I'm thinking of like how there's like a special rule with on JJK where they couldn't hit that one guy like super hard because it would like rebound or whatever, so they had to hit him light. Squall, you probably know what I'm talking about. So yeah, there might be some kind of special rule when it comes to a 2v1 scenario, but I think I mentioned before that Ku and Do could possibly fuse, and that 1v1 scenario could still kind of work there. I think Do might lose if that has to happen. But then again, did Vegeta make 2 sweat?
Did Vegeta make 2 sweat?
Yeah, Tanagami 2.
Fuck, dude. I'm gonna have to go back. Maybe Brock, you probably have better knowledge if he made Tamagami sweat or not.
Which one? Vegeta or
Tanagami 2?
Yeah, did Vegeta make the Tamagami sweat at all?
It didn't seem like it. It really seemed like it was a spar, but if one or the other were sweating, it would definitely be Vegeta because his face got kind of swiped by the trident.
I'm thinking it's possible we see Gogeta, but then again, Shin's there, which means Vegeta might show up. I think that might happen first. But then again, I mean, we haven't seen Vegeta go Super Saiyan once, so
right.
Like, I want to start there and say like we see him go Super Saiyan if he thinks he can go Super Saiyan. We still want to see him go Super Saiyan first, and then after that, if he still can't beat him, then we know that it requires something stronger, which we did see lightning around Goku, so he might be in that state now.
Right.
Also, I did want to mention, we didn't see Goku use instant transmission before, and I feel like there were multiple instances where he probably just needed to figure out what an energy is. Even when the Dragon Ball got stolen a few episodes back, he could have used it there. He still isn't using instant transmission for some strange reason, and I don't think it's I don't think an unfamiliar energy alone is enough to stop him from being able to do it. And the only reason I say that is that with Dragon Ball Super, he fought Broly and he immediately like just teleported straight to him. There's not enough reason to believe he had a clear understanding of that energy to be able to do that.
Used
and
it.
He did it.
In the Daima, he did, because they were trying to hide him from the Germandery, right? The first time when the plane was getting looked at. So he's hiding the plane, and then he instant transmission to Pansy.
So then,
good point.
That only because Goku can take a whole anything and take it over to a location using instant transmission, which makes me believe he could have done that with the plane itself, but he still didn't do it.
Right.
I'll put that up to Goku just not using his brain in the moment.
We'll go.
Let's see. I had something I lost. I should have wrote it down. I was responding to chat. Maybe the thought I had was maybe Goku goes into that Kraken, and a possibility is they use the fusion bug to get out of it.
It makes sense for that scenario. We could even
happen.
As the fusion dance has the little I'm gonna call it the trunks wear, and then Vegito has like the blue and orange. Maybe Daima Demon fusion. I could see it. Especially because like right now, they're not that powerful. According to the Kraken situation, why would he need to do that?
Because they can't get out of it. He can get swallowed up to go save Vegeta, but they can't find a way out. So either they fuse or reach a new form to get out. That's my guess. Kind of a reach, but these are my predictions.
Well, anything could potentially happen because like we won't even know what. If this is all from the demon realm and there's the magic too, right? Like, inside of Majin Buu, it dispelled... I mean, it later got retconned, I guess, with the Batora earrings, but, like, it dispelled the fusion almost instantly as I got in there. So if that happens within a magical being, Kraken's being part of the demon realm, also a magical being, I don't know what could happen inside of the Kraken. Like what, maybe they gain properties, maybe the saliva or the Kraken, or there's just no knowing. Like there's Toriyama could literally have written anything to happen right now. So
and they brought it back in the first episode of Daima, like when they explained the whole like Majin Buu thing again, like Vegito inside Majin Buu dispelled them, and like Supreme Kai said, yeah, Majin Buu did that to you guys, but us Kais have the power to just separate each other. So they retconned it, and then they brought it back. So it's so confusing.
Toriyama's just pulling all our legs.
I guess do I think Vegeta will come back from this? I want to believe Vegeta wins, but it wouldn't be too surprising to see Vegeta lose.
He's gonna lose.
I hope not.
It's Vegeta we're talking about.
You can't just take L's all the time and have anybody be happy with that, man.
Of course you can. Kira Toriyama don't give a fuck about Vegeta. Only his fans do.
You know what, though? He knows everybody else does, though. So I mean, what if you're gonna write a book, right, like Harry Potter, right, and people like your book, then what are you gonna do? You're gonna keep writing Harry Potter. If you're gonna write a character and everybody's all like, why is he always taking L's? And as a writer, you're gonna be all like, oh, well, maybe I should give this guy a win eventually to get everybody off my back about it.
I mean, he's more than
you gotta respond.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying you gotta respond. I mean, like making a product, right? Essentially, Dragon Ball Z is a product. So like, if you're making a product, you don't want to like completely disregard what the consumers of that product is.
Look, They gave Vegeta a dub, all right. They threw in a little Easter egg in that Dragon Ball superhero movie. At the end, Vegeta barely beat Goku in base form, and so he gave the fans what they want. So now he ain't getting his little dub here.
And I guess he got Topo. He got what? He got the most eliminations out of anybody, I think, in the whole Tournament of Power. So, I mean, I guess technically they give him some dubs here, but...
He's never gonna get a dub against a main villain, alright?
But he should, though.
He should, but he's not.
Look, here's the real question. What is gonna happen with Piccolo here?
Well,
Because
oh, go ahead.
is Piccolo going to beat one of Tanagamis? Remember, Piccolo is the favorite character of Toriyama. So, and you wouldn't have just included Piccolo for no reason. So, what's going to be Piccolo's significance here? Is he going to fight a Tanagami? I feel like he'd want to, as his character. He's still a rival of Goku. At the end of the day, even if he's not treated like one inside of Super, he is still technically a rival of Goku. So,
Who hasn't
gonna fight
been?
one? Right?
I think Piccolo is there for like an informational guide. Like all of a sudden he has information on the whole Daima universe and everybody and all the Namekians. So he's basically the replacement for Bulma in this arc here.
What about Pansy? She seemed like the Bulma-esque type person.
Bulma
Oh, the
or
demon.
Pansy's got the technology. Piccolo will be like the guide, like he knows like the history, like and things like that.
Of the whole demon realm, or just the Namekian part of it?
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if he got all the information on the whole Daima universe.
Right.
He
Right.
all of a sudden remembers his dad. He all of a sudden remembers Daima.
Well, you also have Shin too, and Shin seems to have more knowledge just on everything concerned with the demon realm. Period. So
But
Piccolo's knowledge of the demon realm would be basically overshadowed by Shin or Nahare or whatever you call him now.
but did Nohare know who Neva was?
Oh.
So I think Piccolo's got like a little bit of a leg up. Maybe not in all aspects of the demon world, but at least in some of them.
Oh, for sure. And
think they're gonna
the funny
split
thing
up.
about it is, oh, go ahead.
I think they're gonna split up again. I think there's too many characters all together, and we were going. Even the promotional art just really shows like Pansy, Glorio, Goku, Shin as a separate group, and I foresee them separating again from each other because, like, you know, the ship's really slow. Everyone's like tired, waiting, all this stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're going to split up again because they want a faster ship. Yeah, I see that happening. I do.
Well, and
Do the group change at all? Maybe, but yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
we were also talking earlier about how there were 3 different parts going on at the same time. So yeah, there is gonna have to be somebody to deal with Du and Ku and her, and then there's also still King Goma and his helper, his Supreme Kai dude. So like 2 groups branching out from each other and taking care of those 2 situations. That seems plausible.
My brain's telling me that Goma doesn't matter anymore. I don't think Goma has
I
mattered.
mean, yes and no, because they have Dende still, so like they're gonna have to go in there and do something.
Good point.
And
Think about what
I don't
they
know.
said. Think about what they were saying, like, because he was like, I'm still worried about Dende, but then he's like, they're not gonna hurt Dende. He's a Namekian, and so they're like,
Right.
that just basically just completely crossed him off. Like, we'll deal with that later. So that means everyone's focused on a Tanagami now to get the Dragon Balls, and we're still
Right.
with that subplot of Glorio possibly being a double agent. And then like if Ku and Du are even gonna be a problem or not, we're not even sure on that yet.
Right.
And there's still a possibility for another part, a big play with Vegeta getting eaten by the Kraken. We don't know that one yet either. And then Neva is a fifth part, because we don't really know why Neva's there. Even Goma doesn't know why Neva's there.
Right. Well, Neva said why he was there, but I mean, he could be just saying whatever he feels he needs to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and plus, like, the Namekians were originally from Daima all of a sudden, so that's why he's there. He just never left, I guess.
Well, I mean, yeah, it even seems like a lot of stuff created from the demon realm itself too, because like, weren't they talking about how the creators, right? So like, assuming Zeno was a destroyer, like the highest of high destroyers, they were mentioning the highest of high creators too. That they had that other kind of shorter blue guy with the oblong head. So it seems like Daima. Was that his name?
Rhymus or something? Rhymes?
Yeah, yeah. So like, it seems like everything's originating out of here. The Nameks, right? Zamala, or whoever the Super Shenron creator was with the Universe 6 and 7 Super Dragon Balls, and it's just we're getting thrown little bits and pieces of lore here. But yeah, you have Nameks even on the Super manga. You had the one during the Granola arc that's on this other completely different world, aside from Piccolo being on Earth, Namek being a thing, and then New Namek being a thing. And if we have a Namek over here and a Namek over here, then maybe there might be one all over these other worlds too. And so yeah, we're just if Neva is there to stay there in hopes that other Nameks might find their way back too. It could just be as simple as that. Or, he seems to have kind of a... Oh, what's the right word?
His only ulterior motive is just to have more lifespan.
Yeah.
Longer lifespan. Which makes me think there's no... It's hard for me to say he's got some evil plan, because he only wanted a longer lifespan. The Tamagami are running over are holding the Dragon Balls. It wouldn't be hard to believe the Tamagami would just give him the Dragon Balls. So, and he hasn't used them for evil. He even says like, our Namek should not use our power for evil. And everyone looks at Piccolo. So it's not that hard to believe that he only has one goal. At the same time, I mean, why not? So, why not be evil behind the shadows?
He does, I don't know, he seems like he's just kind of like moving chess pieces just to see what'll happen. I think he's more of a curious kind of guy than anything.
Are you saying he's like Palpatine?
Not necessarily.
Maybe he's like grooming like a Piccolo and he's gonna start grooming Piccolo in some way.
No. I think he's like just wants to see what outcome will happen if he moves a piece just a little bit further this way. I don't think he's some kind of mastermind, but I definitely think that he'll be some kind of obstruction.
They did say he was predicting things, and he predicted how some of these things would go. I mean, obviously anyone can predict, but like, with the idea of literally saying that, did you predict these things would happen? It's possible that he's looking for what gives him the better choice or forwards his plan. And so it wouldn't surprise me if he's got some long-term game going on here. It wouldn't surprise me if he's playing chess, and maybe he sees Goku and them being the way to get what he wants faster. Because it's not like Goma's really doing anything
right.
Again, like I said, he doesn't come off to me to be a real plot point besides that he has Dende. And unless they're going to start focusing on them, he doesn't matter. Neither does the brother. And they're too afraid of Goku and them right now as it is, which makes me think he's super weak.
Right.